welcome, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Remixing Politics and Culture with me, your host, Pam. I am a public relations and marketing professional with a passion for social justice, voter advocacy, and culture. And tonight, we're going to have what I call is a culture talk. That is when we're not talking about politics or social justice. We're talking about issues that are happening in our community. So, one of the tonight we're going to talk about a much beloved HBCU, that is St. Augustine's University. Um, St. Augustine's University, along with Shaw University, both are located in Raleigh, North Carolina, were my personal introductions to an HBCU. I had relocated here from Detroit, Michigan in 1990. I had only gone to a PWI in this great state of Michigan. And when I relocated here to North Carolina, I got an opportunity to be a public relations director for a Black-owned and operated YMCA. And on our board of directors were several leaders from St. Aug, and I also had a lot of contact with the Shaw University as well. I was so excited because here I had come from the Motor City, and to be in the South and to see these Black folks running things, these major universities and whatnot, and have their own radio stations. And St. Aug also had a television station. I was so excited. So, and I had the fortunate opportunity of meeting the president emeritus himself, Dr. Prezell Robinson, and his predecessor, Dr. Bernard Franklin. Such fond memories. So now St. Aug is undergoing a very extremely turbulent time in its history, with severe financial challenges, a loss of accreditation, an IRS tax lien. The storied 157-year-old institution is currently making sure that all of their classes are now put back online. And they've made some type of agreement with Shaw University for those students that weren't able to go home to have housing and meals or whatnot. But tonight, we have some very proud alumni from St. Augustine's University that's going to talk to us about their past memories of St. Aug, what's going on today at St. Aug, and what they hope for the future of their beloved alma mater. So I'm going to bring them up one by one in their order of their graduation dates. Okay, so first up, we have the former Deborah Johnson, known as Camilla Carter, from the class of 71. Hey, Camilla.
Hey.
Yeah, so glad to have you back. Okay. And next up, we have Minnie Fort Brown from the illustrious class of 72. Hey, Minnie.
Well, hi. I don't see myself on the screen.
That's okay. We see you.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Oh, I do. I see myself now.
Okay. All right. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And next we have Stephanie Thompson, class of 93.
Yes. Hi, everybody. Good evening.
Hey.
Good evening.
And the baby of the show, and the only male tonight, Deveron Benjamin, class of 93.
Yay.
96.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Deveron, did I pronounce your name correctly?
Perfectly.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. So how we're going to start this conversation, guys, is we're going to start with reflections of the past, of your time on St. Aug's campus, and we'll just round robin it in the order in which you came on stage. to talk about that. So Camilla, you got to
Pam, I sent you the memo. I told you to start with Minnie Mae first.
Oh, they gonna tell me what to do on my own.
I
On your
know,
own
right?
show. This is what I'm saying. Just as vocal as she is right now, you start with Camilla, just like you said.
See, this is a problem here. Okay. So I graduated from Weequahic High School in Newark, New Jersey in 1967.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I traveled to Wilson, North Carolina. That was my first stop. My parents put me on the train, put $500 in my bra, and said, "Go on down there, and you on your way to college." So I stopped in Wilson. My aunt taught at Pike High School. I went to my first historically Black high school football game with the band. The band played James Brown. I was so excited I didn't know what to do. So that prepped me for the next day or the next week of going to St. Augustine's College. But it was a culture shock for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in awe of the students that I met.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the students that I met when I first got there were all from North Carolina. They
Uh-huh.
were all leaders in their high schools.
Mm-hmm.
They ran their student councils, all their organizations,
Mm-hmm.
and they were just so impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And the first person I met was our friend Marjorie Taylor
Mm-hmm.
Goodwin from Petersburg, Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know, it's history after that. The first assembly that we had, Dr. Quezel Robinson gathered us
Mm-hmm.
in the gym and told us to look left, look right, look left.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the students that you are coming here with. You might not be reading with them, but everyone has the same opportunity to be successful and to live out their dreams.
Okay. All right. All right. So, Minnie, tell us your story.
Well,
What's your
St. Augustine's was not my first choice.
okay?
I went to Morgan State in Baltimore, and I was there for 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
and I got pregnant. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And because I got pregnant, I had to return home. And
Mm-hmm.
my mother was a professor at St. Augustine's. So she said, "All right, well, I'll let you go out of state. And now you're going to have a baby. So you will be at home and you'll take care of your baby and you'll go to St. Augustine's." Now,
Mm-hmm.
St. Augustine's wasn't on my list because, first of all, it didn't have a football team, and I didn't know about a band, anything like that. And that's what I was coming from Durham, coming from Hillside, and that was what I was accustomed to,
Right.
being right here at NCC. It was NCCU at the time, and so that's what I was accustomed to. So, but when I got to St. Augustine's, of course, I was very cute, and I was wearing a leather jacket, a leather suit, all right,
Okay.
mini skirt,
Mini skirt up
the
to
mini skirt, the
here.
very, very short mini skirt. And I got on campus and everything, and I went to the student union, and I met this girl who is sitting right next to me right now, Camilla Carter. And she befriended me because none of the other girls were speaking to me. And
Oh.
so she befriended me and everything, and she walked me back to the dorm. And my mother was her professor as well, and so I mean, it was just she was so kind to me. And of course, I met guys and stuff like that. And St. Augustine's allowed me because I was a speech major,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't have a major in speech,
Mm-hmm.
and so they said to me, "We're going to let you do an interinstitutional um, academic assignment. You can go to Shaw and take your speech classes, and
Mm-hmm.
you'll come back here and take your other courses," which was absolutely fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing. that they allowed me to have that kind of access.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was on 2 campuses. I thrived. That was the best experience I could have ever had
Mm-hmm.
at college, being at St. Augustine's. It was because St. Aug, because of St. Aug, I am who I am.
All right.
St. Aug allowed me to fly. They
Mm-hmm.
allowed me to soar, to be what I wanted to be, to have those experiences. I couldn't have gotten that at Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have gotten that at Morgan. I got that at St. Aug. I became a serious student, really realizing how bright I was. So
Mm-hmm.
I am who I am because St. Aug allowed me to have that experience. Yeah.
All right. Great. So, Stephanie, your
Yeah.
time.
Hi. Thanks. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Steph.
Well,
I said,
my story was a chance going to an HBUC college, CU college fair at Essex County College in Newark, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
My mother packed me up in a car and she said, "We're going to this college fair."
Mm-hmm.
So we went around and we looked at the different schools. St. Aug was not my first choice.
Mm-hmm.
My first choice was Virginia State,
Mm-hmm.
and my second choice was Savannah State.
Okay.
So we we walked around. So my mother was like, "Well, let's look at this school." I was like, I don't know, I don't like, that's a church school, you know."
Right.
So, and I was about to leave, right?
Uh-huh.
So what my mother did, I am the first HBCU graduate of my family.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And what St. Aug provided at that time was the special services program.
Mm-hmm.
And the special services program was for children like me. I was a child. When
Mm-hmm.
I was 17 years old when I started St. Aug.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So they had this special well, what the issue was, my mother wanted me to go to a school that had almost the same population as Montclair High. That's where I graduated from.
Uh,
And St. Aug was a small school. I think at that time, Montclair High was about 1,200.
mm-hmm.
I think St. Aug may have been around 14 or 1,500.
Mm-hmm.
So my mother was very concerned that I would get swallowed up, especially being young. I was a minor when I went to St. Aug.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't turn 18 until December, and I left in August. And they also had the where you had their parents had to write a note, and I couldn't go past the guard. You guys, I couldn't go past the guard booth. You know the guard booth? But of course I found my way around the guard booth. But
Okay.
that's my memory. And another thing that I want to say, I'm from Montclair, which is like quote unquote the elite whatever suburb.
bougie, yes.
Bougie.
Yes, yes.
When I moved into St. Aug, I was a Latham lady. I had a matching, what was that material I was telling you about, Miss Camilla, that matching luggage?
Samsonite, baby.
That Samsonite blue from the 70s.
That's it.
Matching. And people were moving into Latham with garbage bags. And when you talk about culture shock, okay, it was a culture shock, but St. Aug made me as well, like many, what I am today. 3 college degrees later, I am who I am because of St. Augustine's College.
That's right.
Yeah, it was college.
I relate to St. Augustine's College, but we know it has transformed to St. Augustine's University.
Yeah.
Right. And so, Deveron, our baby, our class of 96 person, got to pick with you a little bit. What's your fond memory, your best memories of your time at St. Augustine's?
The best memories. I think one of the best memories was the first day coming out of Lynch Hall, and actually in the evening, and we had never walked the campus. Me and my brothers all came the same day. 3 of us came to college at the same time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, all three of us at the same. It was
At the same school at St. Aug?
yeah. Well, I almost went to Central, and
Oh.
that's a thing that some people didn't know,
Uh-huh.
but it was a basketball thing. And then when I came to St. Aug, and we drove on to the campus first time because we went and saw Central first. We went to Virginia State, Virginia, and I mean it was a whole bunch of HBCU. We went and visited.
Uh-huh.
Came around the quad for the first time. I tell people it was so green, grass so green, and the people and just the energy and everybody everywhere. But going back to that evening, coming out of Lynch Hall and going down onto the mall, I
Mm-hmm.
getting outside on the mall, and I really had never been anywhere. And I was like, this is you know what I mean? I'm looking around like, wow, like, I'm in college, I started meeting people right there, right in front of the Union that night. We
Uh-huh.
sat and talked all night, and that was probably one of my best memories because it was so pure. You know what I mean? It was just innocent, and of course graduating, getting across the stage, doing something that people didn't think I could do.
Mm,
You know,
Wow.
you know.
Okay.
I'm from Rochelle, New York, by the way, and
Okay.
yeah, I was born and raised in New Rochelle, and then my brothers, I was adopted into a family, and
Uh-huh.
my other brother was adopted into the same family, and that's the family that put all three of us through college.
amen.
Oh,
Amen.
nice. Yeah, that is fantastic.
Yeah.
What a story. What a story. Wow. Wow, wow. So listen, so you all have really moved me with your stories and all. So where thoughts about where we are today, because it's really, it's quite troubling. So Deveron, I'm gonna let you lead on this about the thoughts you are today.
Um, every day I wake up with something different.
Mm-hmm.
Up devastated. Other days I wake up, just ready to fight.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's really sort of that in between right now because we have a situation where the people who got us into this situation are refusing to leave.
Uh-huh.
And almost like, it's almost like it's almost like squatters' rights. You know what I mean? You come home and then somebody's like, this isn't your home, but it's squatters' rights with millions and millions of dollars missing.
Mm-hmm.
So the puzzle pieces that we're faced with now, um, as a collegiate community, it's hard because there's so much misinformation amongst the alumni
Mm-hmm.
that everybody's sort of confused on what's the right path. And then there was not a lot of guidance from the board and leadership.
Mm-hmm.
So it sort of left us to figure it out. But I will say this, we have figured it out. We are going to
Yes.
continue to figure it out.
Yes.
The ancestral energy that runs through the Seven Springs, which is St. Aug, the
Mm-hmm.
original St. Aug's land was the Seven Springs, and a lot of people don't know that.
Okay, explain that to me in the audience because I don't know what that means. What is this? What is the Seven Springs?
The land where St. Aug is, there was a family that owned all of that land. And
Oh,
if you look at the land itself, there's a natural aquifer under the land. There's water. The land is vibrant.
oh,
And so that's something that a lot of people don't know. But the name of the original land was the Seven Springs. The family that sold it to St. Aug once they left the fairgrounds, because we technically started on the fairgrounds, when we came
right.
together.
I saw that.
When we came to that camp, and before we came to that campus, I think we were up on another campus where the old DMV is across the street from where Bojangles is.
Okay.
New Bern Avenue.
New Bern Avenue, yes, right on the corner of New Bern, I think in Tarboro. But when we came to that land, we built that land with our hands. Like the legacy that we come from is so deep and it's so rich. And funny hearing what Stephanie said earlier, hey, this is a church school. And the interesting thing is, it was, but it was also a melting pot, of all kinds of theologies and philosophies. And you can really get at St. Aug's campus and learn a lot about the world because we have so many people from the world there.
Mm-hmm.
But bringing it back to the fight that we're in now,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's going to take a lot of prayer,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of aligning with the Most High, but even more importantly, believing in ourselves that we can correct this, because we can correct it. And anybody that's out there who's not familiar with our fight, help us. And it's not just money. People go, oh, you want money? No, we want your prayers, we want your energy, we want your resources, we want anything that you can come to offer us in our fight, because it is an uphill fight. And at the end of it, and I'll silence myself on this note, at the end of it, this is probably going to be one of the worst scandals in HBCU history. Yeah.
Nova Scotia is coming back as an institution.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now, Nova Scotia
Mm-hmm.
has been dead. Well, you know what? We thought Nova Scotia was dead,
Mm-hmm.
but the president, the new president,
Chris
who
Ray.
is also the president of Phi Beta Sigma
Yes,
fraternity,
yes.
said that Nova Scotia never closed. Now, they lost their accreditation. I mean, it must be for at least 30, 40 years,
Mm-hmm.
but they are reviving themselves. They've got a new president. Let me tell you something. We came out of slavery. Now, we're
Yes.
not going to let this, we're going to be prayerful, just like you said, my brother. But we know that St. August is going to survive because it must. We also know the vultures are there to try to take over where we are, where we sit on that property, where we are in Raleigh in the center. They would love to come and just put a little statue there that said, this is where St. Augustine's University used to be, founded in 1867. Whoever heard of such?
57. Mm-hmm.
57. Whoever heard of such?
Mm-hmm.
Graduating nurses and
67.
medical people in the medical profession back in that day. Oh my goodness, it is historical. No, we will not let it die. We will not let it die. And those people who are listening to this and listening to anything else that comes on the news, know that those who are responsible for this,
Mm-hmm.
who stood by and let this happen, who were not the watchmen that they should have been, they're the ones that have to sleep at night with that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That rest on their shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
And they will be brought to justice for it, because it's all going to come to the light.
Mm-hmm.
It's all going to come to the light. Some people have made money from this debacle that we're in right now. I'm almost certain of that. Okay, that was enough. I just jumped in on that. I'm sorry.
No. Listen, this is a conversation. This is a conversation. Now, I want to share something that I learned with you guys, and you all chime in, of course. In my research, I noticed that that things really started taking a turn at St. Aug in the 2010s. There was a few little lawsuits, so a little, you know how things happen. A student was forbidden to cross the graduation stage because of something he wrote on social media, and that was in the early days of social media. And he got suspended and couldn't cross, and then he sued the school in state court and little things like that. That was also the time that Dr. Diane Suber became your president, the first female president, unfortunately. And she was there for 15 years. And then one thing that's a big thing that happened during that time, of which when she was president, when she came on board in 1999, she was there during one of the worst economic um, depressions, recessions, the Great Recession that started in 2007. It technically ended for some folk. I'm going to say some folk, remember how Obama did that great economic act, and the auto companies were too big to fail, and all of that was going on at that time. You remember? So then things got a little bit better by 2009. However, remember the housing crisis went on. A lot of people lost their homes and all of that. All of that was going on during that time. And when America gets a cold, Black America gets pneumonia. And subsequently, during her tenure, in her 15 years, your enrollment dropped. And St. Aug's enrollment is directly tied to its finances, right? That's the model that it has. But and so they say in the research that I was doing that we really didn't get back to our footing until about 2011 until 2016. So, it was a bad time. It's hard to recoup from stuff like that, right? And so, I know that things may have gone wrong and there was bad management and things like that, but there was also those economic pressures that impacted not only St. Aug, but impacted a lot of other people too, a lot of other institutions. So anybody else have anything to say about what's happened, what St. Aug is currently going through? You want to address that at all? Because I have some more stuff for you too, if you want. Devron, Camila, Stephanie.
If nobody else,
Yeah, go ahead.
that I will close on this. The same economic pressures that happened to St. Aug happened technically all around the United States.
It did.
But most universities didn't have a leader like Dr. Suber, who, for all intents and purposes, from a cultural perspective, feel of culture, as far as the leadership style that we were accustomed to.
Uh-huh.
So, I don't want to necessarily say anything bad about her in particular, but what I will say is there was a lot of harm done from a cultural perspective under her leadership, and there was a lot of things that took place that, depending on how far back the letter people decide to go, there's no telling what they're going to find, because our endowment and all these other things were also being affected. So it's not just what people are seeing right now in the news with $10 million. There are some other things that most likely are going to show their face. And with that, I mean, we're going to have a reckoning, because when we do come out of it, and I'm prayerful we come out of this. I'm fighting with everybody, thousands of us that are fighting, but I'm also very realistic about how, even with the understanding that Stacks made it clear,
Mm-hmm.
4.1 in what they wrote, it's in section 4.1. The board management, they started their whole report with the board management.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, I still see a lot of Falcons that sometimes they skip over that and they want to talk about all of the other bills at the university.
Mm-hmm.
But are you really going to get into a car with a drunk driver? I mean, are you really, this person is drunk and they behind the wheel of the car and they're saying, hey, I'll take you home.
Right.
We have some things that we're going to have to deal with, but we're going to have to do it as a community.
Mm-hmm.
In all community, we don't need to be divided by anything internal that doesn't speak to increasing the value of the university.
Right.
And if you're not legacy, if you're not looking at the legacy, you're missing everything. It's not about any of the humans at this point.
Yes.
What is the legacy call and need from us? And let's do it. So that's all I wanted to add in closing, because Suber really did some damage in another kind of way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. From the leadership style and the culture that was changed. Some of it was lost. So you're not going to get students if they don't love the university. And that starts with us. Hey, we love St. Aug. Everybody loves St. Aug.
Right.
You want to ask me, I love St. Aug, But if you come to the campus and I'm sort of going, and you go, oh, I don't know if I want to go there,
Yeah, I understand. I want to show you guys something about your illustrious Prezell Robinson, and I think it's a key point in how any university, and particularly any small nonprofit institution, any small college runs. And we're going to look at something in his bio, and I'm going to share it on the screen. Hold on one second. Okay. right. Okay, you see him? Born in 1920. He's the man, right?
Right.
Okay. So he'll be 104 years old this August 22nd. He's still your president emeritus. But one of the things I wanted to point out here, and Devron, I think that this is something that, let's see, where is it? Mm-mm-mm-mm. Hold on. Yesterday I saw it real quick. That was because um okay, here it is. In the recognition of his many accomplishments for academic excellence, fundraising, and international lectures. And it goes on to talk about all of the honorary doctorates that Dr. Prezel Robinson got from Columbia, Cuttington University in Liberia, North Carolina State University. St. Aug gave him one, St. Paul's College gave him one, Shaw gave him one, and on and on. And he's even in the inducted in the Raleigh, North Carolina Hall of Fame and what have you. All of which, I know you guys are well aware about this, about your beloved president. But the key word, and I saw it a couple of times in his bio, is fundraising. And listen, you cannot do anything with any institution unless you're raising money. And so my question to you, Camila, Stephanie, Devron, and Minnie, how much money do you know that your current board has raised for St. Aug?
I wish I knew. Stephanie and I were just talking about that today. And a lot of us, when we first heard about what was going on with St. Aug, we decided if we did belong to a chartered alumni group, Stephanie and I decided to go ahead and jump in there because Leslie Renee Adams started a group meet, and just we used to just jump on there and say Merry Christmas, thanks, Happy Thanksgiving, that kind of thing. But then when we were made aware of what was going on at St. Aug, Stephanie and I got together and we said we have to do something, and that's where that came out of that. But Stephanie just said today, she said all the you have Falcons Unite, you have Devron and his various groups, and the people that he takes on campus to actually he's boots on the ground. He's on the campus. He's doing the work. Okay? And several other organizations are doing the work. And Stephanie said, well, Miss Camila, have you heard about the board? How much money or where they're going to look for funds to help us? That's a good question. And I don't have an answer.
Right. And Devron, here's the thing, what you were saying, like, okay, we know that you all, the several alumni, I don't know how many have gotten a petition together to ask the board to step down. But the bottom line is nobody, you can't just sit on boards and not do anything. Even if you don't have money, you can have money, adjacent money. And what I mean by that is if I work for a CPA firm and you know that a small institution could really use some good CPAs to help them out, then if we donate our services to you, it's a tax write-off for me, for my firm, and it's a win for the institution in which I serve on the board of trustees. So even if you're not raising money, you have to be able to contribute something in which it can benefit, it can be a win-win proposition.
Right.
So I think that that's one way in which to attack that whole premise. Oh, we're not stepping down. We've got this. No. Well, what do you have and what are you bringing to the table?
I think anybody that gets on the board understands the responsibilities you have for being on the board. That I think that that's clear. They, they're asking them that question, what are you bringing to the board? Evidently, simply because we're in the shape that they're in. Are you not aware of the university's financial situation? Evidently not. And if you were aware, you haven't done anything. I mean, we're having the Stone Gala every year. We're asking people every class to give no less than $50,000 every year for your, if you're in the class that's 50 years, so there are things, everybody knows their responsibilities. This board has been inept. This board has been inefficient. This board has been calculating, and they haven't shown boardsmanship. I mean, you can belong to a little board at your church, and they'll tell you, in order to be on this board, you're going to have to give at least $1,000 to the church. Everybody knows that. Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying is to ask this board anything other than to step down and to have this board approved the president to have an inauguration that I have never ever seen in all of my years of working in a college. The inauguration was off campus. We rented the Marriott City Center, and we brought BB Winans to present, to sing. We had cracked crab and shrimp and not filet mignon, but roast beef we had everything. We had everything. We had cocktails. We had an inauguration. Now she's only been the president for how many years? So to allow every university has their inauguration at the school. Mm-hmm. We had it at the Marriott Civic Center, downtown Raleigh.
Was this for Dr. Suber?
Yes, it was Dr. Suber. No. Been gone. This was for Dr. What is her name?
That's in 2023. This was just a few months.
Oh, McPhail.
Dr. McPhail. Oh, Dr. McPhail. It was absolutely fantastic. When I went to it, I said, well, we got cash money. We got cash money because it was awesome. Alcohol flowing, trustees staying in the hotel. It was fantastic. Who knew that we were in the shape we're in? Who knew that?
I'm in shock because, first of all, God bless her. Her husband's credentials were phenomenal, and he was only the president for 3 months. And then, God bless him, he died of COVID. And then somehow, I guess because it was COVID, she became the president.
No, not because it was COVID. That was because she had been the president of Miles College. She had the pedigree that said that she could possibly step in and run a small school because she was the president of Miles College. And so they said, why go do a search? Let's just look for her, which was the wrong thing to do. Evidently.
Yeah. Well, anyways, you know what? HBCUs having financial problems and difficulties is nothing new.
We're going to come out of it. We're going to be fine.
You're going to be fine. And you know who's the great comeback kid on the scene right now is
Morris Brown.
Morris Brown. And I'm going to pull up this article from Morris Brown because some of the things that the president there has done, maybe, it's worthwhile looking into for St. Aug to think differently and look at things in a different light.
I think we discussed this, Pam. Since we don't have all the answers, we don't know what's in the work. We don't know what people are doing behind the scenes. At one of the town hall meetings, they did state that St. Aug was in collaboration with Morris Brown.
Oh, good.
And with Bennett College. So I don't think we're in a silo. I don't think that we're not reaching out and not collaborating with other universities that have experienced gone through what we are currently going through.
Right, right. But for purposes of this show, I'm gonna show this here of what they've got 342 students now. just a fraction of the 3,000 that they used to have in its heyday. They say that they are a rare tale of survival, particularly after losing accreditation and what have you. And they really struggled, right? But one thing that they did do, they literally went to their, okay, I'm hearing some feedback. They literally went to their alumni and those that had masters and PhDs and asked them to help teach. And they got them to volunteer for about a good year and a half. And that was one way in which they've been making their comeback. And I know that Barbara Scotia is looking at, here's the president, everyone, the president, Morris Brown president, Kevin James. He is, everyone is looking to him as the model of how to come out of very difficult situations. And we applaud him for that. So and Morris Brown too is of course it's an HBCU, but it's also it's an AME church school. Okay, so a lot of church folks tried to help people after slavery, didn't they?
Yes.
Yes, they did. So I applaud him for his efforts in thinking out of the box. They even underwent their administrative building caught on fire, and he said that he couldn't even raise money for that. Somebody donated some paint and sheetrock, and they had to do it themselves. So, I mean, they did, and they took a licking, and they keep on ticking. So, like Minnie said earlier, we've come out of being enslaved people, so we still rise anyway, right?
Yes, we do, because we're the only people that historically that have been enslaved and came out of that situation and opened up universities.
Exactly.
We're the only people.
Black
and we're going to come out of this.
Yes,
we're going to find. This is an Episcopal school, and the Episcopalian diocese has money. We're not going to go down. We are going to continue to rise. We're going to graduate. We're going to continue to have a great science department that's received millions of dollars in funding. We're going to continue in our business school that has produced so many students who've gone on to grad school and Fortune 500 companies. The accreditation is only because of money.
Yes.
The accreditation has nothing to do with the excellence in academics that is happening at St. Augustine's. And I want that to be clear. The accreditation is only because of funding losses, mismanagement of funds. It has nothing to do with the academics. And that's what people have to understand.
I wonder why they can't label it something different then, because they do say, like in the stuff, it'll say because of funding, but it's like, okay, so can it be something else instead of accreditation? I don't know.
Well, why would they? Why would they?
I don't know.
But why would you think about it? Why would that? If we listen to the media and listen to the reporting that's done on not only HBCUs, but just culturally, just us in general as a people. So why would they? That doesn't serve a purpose for good press to say anything like that. So no.
Right.
Why would they?
Devron?
That's all I want to jump in. It's not just the mismanagement of money. It's the money that's unaccounted for. So I know you have the mismanagement, which can lead to money not being accounted for. But if you go on St. Aug's website and you look at what took place with the HERFA Act, that money basically disappeared. And
what act? I'm sorry. What did you say with what act?
The HERFA Act. It was the COVID money that was given to St. Aug.
Okay.
And on St. Aug's website, they have to publish it. But if you look at the HERFA money, and then you look at the money that was actually applied to the students.
Mm-hmm.
It's really tragic to see right now with leadership that the students are being blamed for something that really took place in the mismanagement and the money that is just missing. So in essence, some things were gone before they could be mismanaged. Maybe that's the best way to put it.
Okay.
Well, they did do renovations. Now they did do Martin Luther King. They did the upstairs. They bought new furniture. They rearranged the bookstore. So there are some things that maybe, that we don't know if they were leaking roofs. Remember when this was during COVID, when
They
they had the students did not have heating in the dorms. They had to go put in new heating systems.
Mm-hmm.
They had to do some plumbing things. So these things are also costly, and they don't make the news unless the kids actually complain about them. So when they had the kids standing outside saying that they were cold or there was, water dripping in it, then some of those COVID funds, I'm certain, were used to fix an institution that's been there that long,
Mm-hmm.
maintenance, and then everybody wants to go to a school that looks good.
Yeah.
You want to go. You come on campuses, you see other people's dormitories, you see how they stay in, you see their classrooms. And so Dr. McPhail and them had to do some upgrades. Their upgrades is constant. It's
Right.
constant. And so that's difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say that from teaching at an institution that is always doing something, where right now we have a brand new building and the air conditioning's not working. So, I mean, this stuff happens. And
Yeah.
so it costs money to do it.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, well, the thing about the Tuttle building and the MLK building, once all of that actually comes to fruition, people are going to see that something went wrong even with the funding with that.
You're right. I'm not
And
saying people not taking stuff.
Mm-hmm.
well, the thing is, it's one thing for people to take something. It's another thing for them to take government money that's supposed to go to students' balances. And
Right.
so create another form of problems that you would not see if it was something that was just in-house with the money that's on the table. Once you start dealing with that money that's connected to DC, their auditors and the way they look at things are going to be completely different. And so I just think it's important that for all of the listeners that are joining in on the show, please understand that to Miss Minnie's point a second ago, it really isn't just a money thing. It really is a series of different things that have taken place that have all collided at the same time. But my theory is the people who have, well, not mine, there's a bunch of us are thinking the same way. The people who have caused the problem, maybe the reason they don't want to is because they're trying to clean up that kitchen.
That's right.
Out of there. So something like the MLK building, I'm not even going to say on this show what I know about that. I'll say this officially. There was some real bad things that happened with that money.
Okay.
Tuttle building, some real bad things that happened with that money. Something like things that were supposed to get fixed that did not get fixed.
Okay.
But the money is just magically going somewhere. So for all of the individuals that are holding their funds right now, and there's so much money, to Mrs. Minnie's point when she said earlier about it's not a money issue. I say this: we definitely need money, and there's a lot of people who want to donate money, but they are not willing to donate money when they know it's like throwing it into a tub that has no plunger. And on top of that, they're saying even if you put the plunger in it, if it's the same people who were standing around the tub when I first did it, I'm not going to give you the money anyway.
Exactly.
So the Board of Trustees of St. Augustine's University can do is leave.
Exactly.
There's a resolution, and there's also a petition. Anybody that goes to savesau.com, they're both up there. I signed my name on it, and a bunch of other people did. And I know between the two groups that I'm a part of, it's thousands of us. And the general consensus has been, we know who did what. And here's another thing, and I want this to be understood. Somebody like Dr. McPhail, we had six presidents probably in the last 6 years, something crazy. I don't know the number.
Yeah.
But for whatever your profession is, Just imagine if every day you go to work, as soon as you walk into the office or your job or whatever it is that your profession is, as soon as you get there, you've got 2 or 3 bullies that are not only looking over your shoulders, they're not even looking for you to do the work. They're just looking, and everything that you do is under duress. You're not going to get the best quality out of those individuals because they're operating from a place of duress.
Mm-hmm.
These are all of the different things, without airing too much of the dirty laundry, that we're dealing with. But please understand, we are fighting. And some of us, like myself, when they said earlier, you know, we go over there, a lot of us that go over there, we cleaning up, we picking up, we don't care what, we'll clean toilets. We don't care about none of that. That's our home. Just like your home that you lay your head down in, you clean your home.
Right.
But one thing that we are doing, we putting on those gloves, and for anything that's hurting the legacy, we are willing to fight it face to face, as you see us, face to face in real time. And I want people to understand that alumni are fighting. They are fighting with their money, they're fighting with their resources, they're weaponizing, in a beautiful way, all of the strategies needed to protect our legacy. We want to be where we are right now, not only just because of mismanagement, but because some of these individuals are literally aloof. They are doing what they want to do, and they don't have a conscience. There is nothing to connect them to the energy that we're fighting with. So I say that to say, you know, those individuals, they do not love the university, and I would treat them the same way I would treat a mugger if they tried, God forbid, to jump my mother or my grandmother. That's how serious it is right now.
Right.
And I don't want to bring a negative energy into the room, but it's one of 2 things that's going to happen now. The pain that we're feeling, that you see us sometimes fighting, because when we get on shows or we get on the news, we got to fight what we're really feeling. But understand that people are still hurting the home. They are still hurting the legacy. And it's sad to me to see these individuals stand up there, step down.
That's right.
And I think that is just the most disgusting part of this whole story, because there are so many people. We're not talking about little money. Millions and millions of dollars. They're like, we will not touch that university until these individuals are gone, because the cat is out the bag. And as much as the board of trustees wants to blame every administrator that's been there before, and some of them, yes, have dropped the ball tremendously, and they need to be held accountable also. But the duress that this board has created, it's to the point where regular people over there that just want to go to work, they were under pressure.
Right.
So we're trying to change a bully culture and bring back the love that we experienced. And as you said, I'm the baby of the bunch, and I know I fell in love the minute I didn't get to step foot on the campus, and I fell in love. And I said, I don't want to go to Central, none of them. I'm coming here.
Okay.
And my son, he came there. I tried to get my daughter there. She's at Central, but that's all right. I tried. My niece was there.
Wow, you've got a lot of family that's gone through St. Aug.
Yes, but my
So
son
proud of you.
Unfortunately.
Your son what?
He left his senior year last a month ago. He couldn't do it. 2 months ago. Because one of the things that's happening is all of the students came back to spring break and had these magic balances. So somebody like my son, who's a legacy student, he leaves in December. He comes back. Now, mind you, he's on Dean's List, AB honor roll, all of that stuff. He comes back. He's like, how do I owe St. Aug $15,000? We're like, yeah, how do you owe St. Aug $15,000? He's a legacy student. Plus, all of the students' balances were cleared in 2021. So how do you get a legacy student who has a reduced bill? How does he magically appear with these bills? And so when you look at the leadership right now, the leadership that's over there right now, they have to deal with that. You know why?
Why?
It shouldn't have happened. It should not have happened. And then when you have somebody like myself, or Miss Camille, or Miss Steph, not Miss Steph, me and Stephanie saying, we peers. Ain't no Miss Stephanie with Steph. Me and Steph the same, we 6, 7, 8 months apart. Okay, I might be the youngest, but she's right next to me. So you know, when you have individuals that experience St. Aug and the part of it that was together, there's no way in the world we're going to stand for what we see. And anybody who wants to help us, please go to savesau.com. Please find us. I'm Deveron Benjamin on Facebook. All of us that you see in this thread, we family of St. Aug, and we are fighting. We are fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and those people gotta go.
Yeah,
they gotta go.
They gotta go.
I love you.
Let me.
Don't you love Devron? Yes.
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 Yes,
They
Devron.
gotta go.
Let me ask you this. There was one thing that Morris Brown did too is that they did sell some of their land. They did. They sold some land and paid off some debts and all that kind of stuff. And so I found this news clip. Don't shoot the messenger.
We're gonna shoot you, Pam. Don't say
Yeah,
it.
Pam, you get ready to mess
Don't
up.
say it, Pam. Don't say it.
Don't even say it.
Don't even
Please
speak
say
that. Because
let's
we already
deal with
know
it
what
so
they
people
want.
can see the reality of what we're dealing with, because we have to have that conversation. And the community of Raleigh's already paying attention.
Okay.
They're paying attention.
Well, this news clip that I found is with Dr. McPhail, and she was walking with a news anchor.
Part of $75 million deal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Can I play that?
Not only can you play it, talk about it.
Yeah, I'm curious about that because when you started telling me about the water that's underneath that land, that water is a premium, honey. Water is a premium. So I'm gonna share that clip because I think that is really interesting in the whole dynamic of this whole thing, because it's like when you have that mountain of debt, you're gonna have to think out the box a little bit about how you're gonna get out of it. So let's share.
We are on Oakwood Avenue. We know what that is. We know what that means to Raleigh. We're in the city. It's only Shaw and St. Aug that in the city of Raleigh. They want both of them.
I know. Let's show this clip because Devron's give me permission.
Yes,
because I think it's important. I do. There it is. Okay. Unfortunately, we have to go through this of some ads. Sorry.
We're talking about a brand new neighborhood. Walking the western edge of St. Augustine's University, where its president sees a new frontier. It really expands the campus. And connects that with the community in a way. The community folks are excited about this. The excitement she's talking about is over St. Aug's newly announced deal with Atlanta-based real estate developer Carter, a plan to build a 320-unit multifamily project on these 12 acres of underutilized campus land adjacent to St. Aug's Stadium and near the corner of State and Glasgow Streets. It's a $75 million project that landed in the lap of the chronically underfunded university. There was an unsolicited proposal that the leadership team looked at and collaborated with the board, and we're looking at how we could develop that.
And it would be about a 4-story project with parking that supports those units.
David Nelson is the lead on the project. His company, Carter, has developed $1 billion worth of properties, residential, office, retail across the country, including a similar campus lease deal with Atlanta HBCU Morehouse College.
After having just developed a project with Morehouse School of Medicine, really, enjoyed that process and that development and thought we could do something similar with SAU.
This could be a revenue generator, but do we know how much money it will be? We're negotiating. That's going to be a part of our ongoing negotiations. There are going to be questions, of course, about, well, did you think about doing this project with local developers? The local developers didn't give us a proposal. While McPhail and university leaders finalize details with Carter, it's also preparing to seek input from neighbors and alumni. hoping to avoid the backlash rallies other HBCU Shaw University is currently facing over the Shaw U District, a plan to rezone and redevelop campus land by leasing property to outside developers.
Instead of operating from weakness, we need to be operating from a position of power.
What would you say if there is criticism that you're selling out?
I'm going to say nonsense. We are not selling any land. We're talking about a land lease. Here's an opportunity for St. Augustine's supporters, advisors, and others to take a look at future development. This is just the beginning.
This is just the beginning, she says. President McPhail also said she's going to meet next month with faculty and students to talk about the plans, with community conversations to come later. Over at Carter, the company is hoping to break ground within the next year, with construction expected to last about 2 years.
Okay, so what say you, Devron, and or who wants to speak about that? Because obviously that's not happening. Nothing's happened with that or whatever. What did happen with the Devron? Because that happened. That story was filed January of 2023.
If anybody else has a comment on what they just saw, I please would implore them to before I even say anything, because that situation was one of the biggest.
The songwriter, but then that other success came.
Oh wait,
do you consider?
I'm sorry. That was the it was still feeding. Go ahead, Devron. I'm sorry.
No, I'm going to yield because and I do have something to say about it, but I was just saying that situation with that Carter deal was one of the worst deals in St. Aug's history, and a lot of us saw it very fast. So if anybody else has anything to comment about that, I definitely would like to yield before I say what I'm about to say.
They're waiting on you, Devron. The world's waiting on you.
Now, don't wait on me, world. I'm still figuring it out with the rest of us. So when I'm on the calls with some of the same people that you see, we're just putting it together. Mm-hmm. First off, a lot of us was very surprised that Dr. McPhail did that interview, because we're at the town hall meeting that was had on the campus, and the master plan that was revealed did not say anything about a Carter deal. And in that town hall meeting, one of the things that was said very simply was all of the constituents, stakeholders in the community would have an engagement on anything that would be announced at St. Aug.
Oh.
So it was very surprising to some of us when we saw this article go up, and a lot of us knew that all roads led back to Atlanta. So they were talking about, the Carter and all these people, all of those roads led back to Atlanta. Mm-hmm. So between the town hall meeting, the Carter deal, when the statement was made that local developers did not get a petition, anybody right now that's watching this newscast, there's about 3 or 4 local developers. One of them's actually tied to St. Augustine University, and they were not able to bid because the board member, who is now the chairman of the board, he was once he was over the buildings and grounds, and nobody was getting bids. The one thing I'm not going to do, I'm not lying on 1315 Oakwood. I don't lie, period, but I'm not lying on 1315. Okay. There were no bids that were given. Nobody was given an opportunity. The only people that were given an opportunity in reality is between Hughes and some of these other people. They got people that don't look like us. And the developers that look like us, they did not get the opportunity to bid. This was one of the issues that we had. As far as what the financial gain was going to be on that $75 million deal, St. Aug would have got $10 million to lease their land for 99 years. Documented. 99 years for $10 million. $5 million would have been the money that they were going to try to use to save St. Aug. The other $5 million we would have had to reinvest back into the deal. It made no sense.
That makes no sense.
It made none.
No.
And got people like us, some of the Falcons that you see right here with you, we were trying to figure it out. But see, the thing about it is, we've been paying close attention to years and trying to sound the alarm. We have been trying to get help. We have been trying to expose the madness. But a lot of Falcons were lied to, and somebody like myself, don't talk to him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. But a lot of them now are going, you know what? My bad. We just didn't know. Nothing but love and compassion to all of my Falcon family. But this is the time when you see a clip like that.
Mm-hmm.
We just recently heard a month ago from the new president, Dr. Burgess, or 3 weeks ago, oh, the Carter deal is no longer a good deal. But on one of his first Zoom calls, he said it was a good deal.
He probably hadn't even read it at that point.
And to that point right there, you have to talk to us. You have to talk to us. Anybody that comes through St. Aug, any developer, the alumni, we mean something and we have a value. And on top of that, we're not dumb. I mean, I hate to say it like that. You know, we have a bunch of brilliant, incredibly beautiful, resilient people that keep being left out of the conversation, because if you bring us into the conversation, the house never gets dirty. The porch don't get dirty. The parlor don't get dirty. The steps don't get dirty. The bedrooms, the kitchen, nothing gets dirty. And so for that right there, anybody that saw that clip, please go back and understand, none of that made any sense to us. And I'm glad that it got killed. But I'm going to tell you something. It wasn't just people like us sounding the alarm. You got $1 million homes around the university right now.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That town hall meeting happened. You had a lot of people there that don't necessarily look like me, but now they live in our community. And they're there with the same ears. So what do you mean? So what do you mean? That Carter deal would have opened up the back of the campus. And following Shaw U, basically what they were doing to Shaw U, they're trying to make sure a campus with no boundaries. So basically the campus disappears into the downtown sector.
Thank you.
And so when you look at St. Aug, if you open up the back of the university, now you don't have the walls. And for anybody that hears me speak and goes, well, well, don't you think that things might need to be sold and developed? There's never been a question in any of our minds about where we are. We're the third largest landowner in Rockford. Okay, it's St. Aug.
132 acres, is it?
It's 125 acres, but we own 80 properties away from the campus, and we got properties in Virginia.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. But I want to come back to something really quick, because I want all of your listeners, and I want this to stand. I want your show to stand as a record of what we are saying as Falcons, because any one of us up here that we all speak for one another. This is us. And I'm speaking now for the other Falcons that are on here, and the other Falcons and Falcons Unite, the Falcons and Students and Alumni United, the Oakwood Falcon Foundation, all of the students that we deal with. The game that they were trying to play with our land, this was never ever once about not growing. It was never ever once about not having strategic moves. It's always been about people who are over there that are doing things they're not supposed to be doing, who, as board members, should never be benefiting from the university.
Thank you.
Who have been doing this stuff for the longest time. This time they messed up. Because it's one thing to try to do that crap on our campus. It's another thing when you start playing with other people's money that ain't playing with you and their money. And it's the perfect storm for one or two things to happen. Either we're going to unite, we're going to come together, we're going to use beautiful platforms like this one, we're going to get our voice out there, we are going to stick together. So no matter what you see out in public, you're going to see a unified front of alumni. There's no dividing between us. I don't care if you're national alumni, you're Greek, none of that matters. We 13, we legacy. We are trustees. Everybody you see up there, these are the trustees of St. Augustine's University. The trustees that are there now, they are temporary. Their time is up. And all of the trustees need to take their role as trustees. And to Ms. Minnie's point, we take our university and we save our university and we make sure our university is here. Because everything that Ms. Minnie said earlier is 100% spot on. I don't think we're going to fail. But I will say this. The devil works hard.
Yes.
Yes, he does.
The devil works hard.
Yes,
24 hours.
Now, if you got a devil and he's got some disciples and they just so happen to be smoking cigars around our campus, we cannot let these devils outwork us.
No.
To it. That's all to it. At this point, this simply boils down to who is going to work the hardest.
Yep.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
The game is up, the gig is up, and everything that I'm saying on your show, you best believe every board member over there, they know exactly what we are speaking about. There's no mysteries. But for some reason, they just didn't want to humbly take a step back
Mm-hmm.
and just let us come on over there,
Mm-hmm.
clean up our home. That's our home.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not just a place of an institution of higher learning where we matriculated.
Mm-hmm.
That's a place that saved people. That's a place for somebody like me who came from a mother who unfortunately had a drug addiction, raised by my grandmother, and gave me a whole new. When Miss Minnie spoke earlier about becoming a student, how you think this is me now? This is not me then. The guy that they got was not what you see now.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the truth. I wasn't.
That's right. That's right.
But nobody's going to hurt the home. And I'm just asking anybody who can hear my voice, please. I said some things on this platform deliberately with love. Help us. Come over to SaveSAU.com. You can hit me on Facebook. You can hit any of us on Facebook because all of us are communicating, and we're going to save the universe, but we need your help.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Right. There is a fundraiser that is going to take place, mimosas and brunch or something like that, happening in New Jersey, and I am going to share that flyer. That is something that
Camilla.
Camilla, I can't get names straight today. Camilla and Stephanie are doing, and I have got to. Let me see.
And even if you can't come, you can still just pay for it.
That's right.
Hold on one second. I know what I gotta do.
They'll send you a mimosa in the mail.
Okay, let me see. Let me find that.
And while Pam is looking for that, Stephanie, would you like to talk about our group?
Can you see it? Can y'all see
Not
it?
yet.
Not yet.
Okay. Let me go back. And okay. Can you see it?
Yes, there it is.
Okay, here it is. Mimosas, Munch, and Brunch. This is they're having comedians. They're having save the date is April 27th. It is in Bloomfield, New Jersey. Talk about it, Stephanie. Tell us about it.
Oh, okay. Hi everyone. Let me backtrack for a minute. I became a member of Falcons Above the Mason-Dixon line at a chance encounter at Raleigh-Durham International. I was on my way home from homecoming, and there was a lady there who had on her St. Aug gear. And I said, hey, hey girl, come to find out it was Leslie Adams. Mm-hmm. And I was concerned. I was speaking to her like, you live up north? And she was like, yes, I live wherever she lives. And I said, wow, I have been trying to get, involved in St. Aug for years. Mm-hmm. And I'm here to admit on this platform that I feel as though the Mason-Dixon line Falcons dropped the ball. Mm-hmm. We have all our Southern Falcons, and people in Chicago and Florida, whatever, they're really pushing. And I'm like, well, what are we doing? Up north. Mm-hmm. So she added me onto this group, and with going to Falcons Unite and following Devron and what was going on, it just hurt my heart. And I said, well, we have to do something. Mm-hmm. And so the group me was dead. It was like maybe once in a while people would say anything, and then one day I just got on there and I said, hello, right, Miss Camilla?
Yes.
And I said, I don't know if I said the words, what are we doing? But that just opened up this whole big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I met Miss Camilla, and Miss Camilla was like, well, I feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So we brainstormed. It was Miss Camilla, and I never met this lady before in my life.
Okay.
But we know that we are Falcons, right?
Yes.
All right. So we said, we're going to do this. We're going to push from our directions to help this situation.
Okay.
So we came up with, I said, well, you know, we brainstormed some ideas, and I said, we need to do something. And I'm affiliated with a Black-owned Jamaican restaurant.
Okay.
Named Cafe Moube. Patrick Smith is the owner and operator.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually managed the place for him on the weekends.
Okay.
And we had baby showers and all kinds of things. And I said to Patrick, Patrick, let me tell you what's going on with my school. What? You know, he was shocked every time I share this with people. So and I said, you know what? Can we use your facility to have a fundraiser? He said, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So I got on with Miss Camilla, and we just talked about it. And we said, we should do this, we should do that. And God just put in my head, mimosas. Lord, I know it was alcohol. Lunch and brunch.
Okay. Okay.
Episcopalians drink.
Yeah. So this is how this has come about.
Okay. Okay. So anybody from the New Jersey area, New York area, you want any Falcons, you all want to support this effort? It's been up here on the screen. And of course, you can please share this video amongst yourselves to keep the conversation going. And so that people can save the date for April 27th in Bloomfield, New Jersey, at Cafe Moube. And
excuse me, Pam. Can I?
Yes,
I want to give a shout out to my niece who has volunteered. She's a Tuskegee alum. But she volunteered she's a comedian.
Okay.
She's a professional comedian. She volunteered to host, and she pulled in several comedians that are friends of HBCU. And they will be there too. So we will have a good time. Stephanie has pulled together some games and some other treats. So it's gonna we'll have fun.
Okay.
A good time will be had.
And it's 50
one more.
per
Can
person.
I say one more thing, Miss Pam?
Yes.
We have another fundraiser. I don't know if you received that flyer. We have another simultaneous. We're doing it at the same time for people who can't be here. It's called the $5 Frenzy.
Mm-hmm.
And we're asking people to donate any a dollar amount, a donation that ends in the number 5.
Okay.
Oh, that's cute.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Well, listen, we are well over our time of an hour. We're at 9:21, and we technically leave at 9, but it's all good. It's all good. What I would love for you all to do is to please help my channel and hit the thumbs up, no matter where you're looking at it from. Particularly if you are on YouTube, I need for you to like it and share it, please. And subscribe to my channel. It's a free way to support me. But I want to thank all of you for coming. Camila, Minnie, Devron, and Stephanie. And I am, at any time that I can help you guys in any way in supporting St. Aug, like I said, you know, it was like the first HBCU that I'd ever been in contact with, you know, to learn about the culture and stuff. So it's been exciting for me. And I wish you all the very best. I know you're going to make it. You have no choice. We have no choice in the matter. And you all know that save SAU.com. That is a petition. Is it a petition, Devron?
Yeah. Resolution. It's
resolution, right? I have that. Yeah.
Petition is on there also. Please sign it.
Okay. Okay, so you guys have that. All right, so we're going to end the show now, but I thank you all for participating. I thank you, audience, for participating. Please hit the thumbs up, like, share this video widely, please, to help St. Aug. All right, good night, everyone.
Good night. Love you. Thank you, Pam.